Down he went and off went the Frenchman. Blanc's expulsion meant he missed the final. And what about Rivaldo's theatrics when one of those really hard balls hit him during the 2002 tournament? Come on, son, you're better than that. Now, spitting isn't good, so when Frank Rijkaard spat on Rudi Völler at Italia 90, it didn't make for good viewing. Holland-Germany encounters are notoriously tense affairs, but this one tipped over the edge. An incident later involving Völler lit the fuse once more, and again Rijkaard was first on the scene. After a fracas, both players were sent off. Cue Rijkaard, who spat at Völler again. It left a bad taste in the mouth. Our final villain of the piece is Harald Schumacher. Germany-France in the semi-final in '82 when the score stood at 1-1 when Schumacher flattened Patrick Battiston so badly that the Frenchman was knocked out. Now Schumacher has always claimed that he thought Battiston was going to lob the ball over his head, and the fact that the referee didn't give a free kick backs up his claim. Battiston, though, was taken to hospital concussed, and even Schumacher's mother was heard to exclaim, "It was dreadful, Harold." Now comes the irony. Not only did Germany go on to win the game courtesy of a Schumacher penalty save, but Battiston later forgave him and even invited him to his wedding. Proof that fair play can survive even in the most difficult circumstances.
Okay, Nigeria versus Argentina, we'll be talking about it. And the fans, I remember, when you're going to watch, we recorded this at the last FIFA World Cup. And it was just some minutes to Nigeria versus Argentina. We just entered the stadium, getting ready to go in. All of a sudden, we had all this noise. Wow, wow, Argentina. They kept building, they kept coming, all of them, and it was like a carnival. These are the fans of Argentina minutes before Nigeria's last FIFA World Cup. At the last World Cup, it was very interesting. They kept at it until they had to stop. Really, when it comes to Nigeria, yeah, which brings me to my question before we show that there used to be a time at every championship in which Nigeria's national team we dominated with songs, with all this what they were doing and all. It's not really like that exactly again. Now we're losing something when it comes to the supporters clubs. Place in the world of sports, where we go there with all the fans, the green and our jersey colors, everything. What has changed? So I'm not saying they're not there anymore, but it's not quite like what it used to be.
Now, Kayode, look, the supporters club, you know, they're Nigerians, are they not?
Yeah.
And it's with everything we do, you know, sometimes we build really great institutions and then we destroy them too.
Wow.
I mean, that was the pride of Nigeria. Everywhere we played, people knew them. They were fantastic, you know, with all their horns and whatever. But, you know, obviously, you know that they've had their internal problems, you know, as well. And I don't know, I want to believe that obviously, you know, has affected the way they turn out. Which is a shame, really. Before big money got into supporting, you know, the supporters club. Yeah, it was a passion, you know, and all that. But now he's become. I even hear that. You know, sometimes, you know, people join because you know, it's a way to get a visa, to travel, you know, and all that. So, you know, so these are the things. So unless we go back to the days when there were real passionate fans, you know, and it would be nice, let people know us for something. So that at the World Cup, I mean, look at what happened at the European Championships with the Icelandic supporters. You know, they started that original thing, you know, which was supposed to mimic, you know, the volcano, you know, the volcano in the area, and when they come, boom, 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 you know, and then you can see, which they are used to, and you know, you can see, yes, you can see, no, so if you see the vuvuzela, nobody needs to tell you that South Africa is playing.
Signature team.
Is, you know, everybody knows that. So we need to go back to those days, you know, with our horns, our beautiful songs. You will see that even the fans of other countries who are basically neutral, they come and join us because they enjoy. Who doesn't like a nice orchestra, really? You know, so they need to get themselves together, sort the mess that they have, and present a united front.
yeah, I'm going to pick from his word, get themselves together, and that was what the United States of America, of course, did with Iran. A lot of people predicted these two teams, because of the political undertones, will never ever play each other at the FIFA World Cup, and it did happen.
Yes, it did.
I'm absolutely. Maybe we should show it first.
Okay.
What we're going to see again is that game, and it was even in a friendly atmosphere, but the football still went on, which tells you exactly what you need to know, that if we really look at the way life is, you remain friendly with people, you can still compete with them in your other different areas and let football be the winner. USA versus Iran, absolutely fantastic game, trust me, devoid of all the politics.
Zarinci. Estili's header, it's a super header. Well, the game, some said, would never take place. Here it is unfolding with real drama. And it's Iran, 5 minutes before half-time, has scored the first goal. Madavikia in the clear. He's got support in the centre, he doesn't need it. It's surely Iran's victory now, with 6 minutes to go. Goalkeeper's come a long way and made a mistake. McBride's header, is it over the line? It is now, with Stewart following in. Did it look to me as though it was McBride's goal? And I think that replay proves it. 2-1.
Yeah, we are nearing the home stretch now, and last week a lot of legends were on this program talking and all. We're going to continue with that because we've done about hundreds of them. So they come with a passion. They say things exactly the way they are, especially, of course, the part that has to do with 1998. That was for me the worst time. And you heard what all the legends were saying last week. Garba Lawal Chindo is the one who's going to talk about his World Cup moment, and he has to do with that goal against Spain.
Fantastic. You know, you have to give it to Garba Lawal, and the reason is that for me he was one of those very silent professionals who went about his job.
Humble.
Yes, he went about his job, you know, quietly, and he always gave it all when he had to play. You know, and his moment came. Because exactly, you know, his moment came, and you know he took that opportunity, you know, wonderfully well. And we always knew that he had the fantastic strike of the ball anyway, so it wasn't strange, you know, when he let that fly, and the man was sprawling. Before he knew it, the ball was at the back of the net.
And before we knew it, the program is about to go into an end. But I don't know how to say thank you for being with us today. Throughout all these moments, and we're going to be calling on you. You're a very busy person. Once we call on you, we hope you will. I'm sure they really enjoyed today, so they would love to see you here again. To share the wisdom.
Thank you, Kayode. I must thank you for giving me, you know, the time to even come here and take a little breather, you know, and share in the passion of football with you. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I really would not mind coming back. Thank you so much.
Lovely to have you. It's like we shouldn't let you go.
Really thank you, Kayode. Really thank you, Kayode. I really enjoyed myself today. Thank you.
Okay, he's leaving us now, but he's going to come back here. We are going to take a break, and Femi Okegbenro is going to be joining me, of course. We told you always that this program belongs actually to you. All your requests, all your reactions have been noted, and we're going to be getting back at a lot of you that we promised a lot of stuff. So sit back, relax. Join me after this time out. Femi is going to come here, and of course, we're going to close the program after he tells us all the things that have been happening behind the scene when it comes to contacting you, the owners of this program. Enjoy. Join us in just a few seconds. we are back, and it's all about you. And of course, we have Femi joining me. Femi, Okegbenro is here. It's all about them, right?
Yes, it's all about the viewers. Hello, viewers. You're welcome to the Moments to Russia interactive session of the show.
Okay. What do we have pending?
Pending, we have the winners from last week's questions.
And
we
what
had
was
two
the question?
questions from last week.
The question.
First question, we asked Segun Odegbami, aka Mathematical, his first game for Nigeria on international level,
Okay.
which was against Sierra Leone on the 16th of October,
So who won?
1976.
Who won those?
Nigeria won the game.
So okay.
But a lot of people have been asking that Segun Odegbami, what's so spectacular about him, being that some of us like me didn't get to see so much of Segun Odegbami because he played in the arcade age of football.
No, not really. In the 70s.
In the 70s.
70s was not.
Yeah, but I was not born then.
Oh, okay. So
So
you
people
never
who want
watched
to
him.
see Segun
Okay, you never
Odegbami,
watched him play.
I never watched him.
So why didn't you say, I want to watch him play instead of people?
No,
who
it's
didn't say
the reaction from our platforms.
But you've never watched him play. Because of him, I mean, because he's been a lovely guy, he never watched Segun Odegbami play.
I never did.
Okay, sit back, relax, and watch mathematical Segun Patrick Odegbami. It was amazing, unbelievable, unstoppable. This is Segun Patrick Odegbami. Sit back, relax, and watch this because it's going to shock you. Segun Odegbami.
So throw into Nigeria. Amesimaka. And that's Odegbami. And it's in the net. It is, we've got it.
That's left half back Gafar. Mudalawal. Can Nwadeha do much with that? Segun is poised. Segun is really an artist these days. He's untouchable in that right flank. Segun is still going, and it's in the net. It is in the net. Goal number 3. Incredible.
That was incredible from Segun Odegbami. I never knew he had such amazing skills. I'm only aware of his skills on paper when I read Complete Sports and his column every Wednesday.
Yeah, it was
good to see that from Segun. Very good.
It was one of the best we had. I mean, the regret was that he never played at the World Cup. I mean, the world will have really been comparing him to a lot of.
Oh yes, so I'd seen him on that level. I'm sure he will have been able to live up to the standards.
Oh, definitely he would have. Unfortunately for us, he said never made it to the World Cup. It happens until 1994.
The USA 94.
Exactly.
Yeah, so moving on, our winner from last week on that question for Segun Odegbami was from our Twitter platform, the fastest finger, including our hashtag Moments to Russia. We have our winner, and added to the package of the gift is a DVD of last week's episode. So congratulations to Blessing God's Power, Twitter handle at Blessing Jacob. That's our winner for the first question from last week's episode. Moving on, our second question for last week, we asked the player with the highest number of goals at the Brazil 2014 World Cup. Yes, and that was James Rodriguez. He had 6 goals for Colombia.
And that took him to Spain.
Yeah, that took him to Spain, Real Madrid. Yeah. And I'm
lovely
sure
contract,
yes,
young man.
But what do you think? If he didn't perform at that level at Brazil, do you think Real Madrid will have been interested?
Because at the end of the day, when you perform at the World Cup, everybody's watching.
Oh yes, all eyes are on you.
The world is watching. So definitely, if you are that good, there's no way you won't get a big club.
Oh yes, and I'm sure that will be the same for our Nigerian players in 2018 Russia World Cup. The winner for that question is from our Instagram platform, and that's for Tolu Bakare. Instagram handle at Tolu Bakare. So that's our second winner. We had 2 questions, 2 winners.
Okay.
Yeah, so moving on, before we move to questions for today, I'd like to ask you about South Africa 2010 World Cup. There were a lot of issues surrounding when you introduced the Vuvuzela and Jabulani. Some players complained bitterly, saying that the Vuvuzela was always distracting them when you get to the South African stadium and there's so much noise, you become threatened. And secondly, some players also complain about the Jabulani. Being goalkeepers, for example, they said the ball didn't have a firm grip. Okay. And Adidas came out publicly and they said that they should blame it on altitude and weather, that the ball was good for the field of play. So what do you have to say about that?
What I have to say is very simple. Only failures complain.
Okay.
The winners didn't complain. They knew what they had to do. Vuvuzela and all, every World Cup has its own different things. They do what they do, how they do it, and everything. For some years before the World Cup, the European media had been really writing a lot of negative things about African football.
Oh yes,
South Africa can never host, and it was just.
I think that was the first time it was open to Africa to bid.
Exactly. So
we had Tunisia bidding alongside Libya and so on. South Africa luckily won it.
Africans are not as good as they really are. But their opinion changed because Africa put up one of the most exemplary shows when it comes to the World Cup. It was a really amazing championship, really. So all the critics in Europe, the newspapers, the magazine, they kept quiet.
They were put to shame eventually from South Africa. So we said earlier on that our questions from this week are from South Africa 2010. And very quickly we'll be moving on to the questions on today's episode of Moments to Russia. For a recap of this show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Moments to Russia. And if you'd like to see any goal, any highlights of the 88-year-old Mundial from any year, just send us a message on Facebook or on Twitter and as well as Instagram. Our handle on all platforms remains the same, at Moments to Russia. On today's episode of Moments to Russia, our first question, like we told you, is from the 2010 World Cup. The first question, tell us the number of goals, total number of goals scored at the South Africa 2010 World Cup. Total number of goals. Send in your answers to our Twitter page, to our Facebook page and our Instagram page. And added to your package is a DVD of today's episode. The second question on today's episode of the show, we'd like you to tell us the meaning of the Zulu word, because Zulu is from South Africa, and they coined the word Jabulani. It has an English meaning. We'd like you to tell us the English meaning of the word.
Fastest finger.
Jabulani, and fastest finger only. Twitter, Moments to Russia. Instagram, Moments to Russia. And for a recap of the show, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Moments to Russia. And that's it. 2 questions, 2 winners. Good luck, our dear viewers.
Oh yeah, can I answer the question?
No, you can't. No, you can't. It's exclusive to our viewers only.
Oh yeah, you said it. That is the way we end today's program. Lovely to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here every time, Kayode.
Next week is going to be breezy too, like it was today. There's so much lined up for enjoyment. Trust me, a lot of amazing interviews from not just Nigerian players, past and present now, but from a lot next week from African players. Of course, we are at home with Abedi Ayel Pele. It talks about, he never made it to the World Cup. Of course, we are also going to be bringing you a lot of interviews from not just African players now, but the major players that have participated at the football mundial. Kayode Tijani is my name. Femi, nice to have you here once
Always
again.
my pleasure to be here.
Of course, next week is going to be absolutely fantastic, like I told you. Be there always. Goodbye. We cherish you so absolutely much. Bye. God bless.